to sit out because of the targeting. What did you learn and what did it feel like?
It was definitely frustrating. I mean, anytime having to sit out, injury, targeting, whatever it is obviously a frustrating time. But I mean, my goal was just, I knew I was going to play the second half, and so obviously prepare myself there, even if I'm not getting as many snaps in practice, but also be able to do my part that first half and talk guys through like any kind of reads I saw or like just the plays that they're doing, or just talk through our coaches as we're trying to draw up like what they just did on the field, and so just being able to help in any way I could.
I haven't talked to you for a while, studying Italian, so com'era la pratica? How was practice?
It was good. I'm not as good at my foreign languages anymore.
And what was tell us about the practices. What is the goal this week to prepare for surgery?
I mean, obviously the biggest thing is just executing on the game plan, and so being able to make sure that we're clean in practice so that we have confidence and trust to be able to run it on the field. And Syracuse has a lot of different kind of looks, and we played their offensive coordinator last year in Virginia, and so he does a lot of similar things with just a little different personnel types and body types and things that he does there. And so just being able to make sure that we recognize those kind of personnel and body types and then be able to execute the game plan throughout practice.
How about their personnel? Just take us through the challenges some of those guys on the offensive side bring.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very dynamic offense, and I mean, they run a lot of different play types. And I mean, the biggest thing, like right out of the gates, you see like they have a very dynamic quarterback and a very dynamic running back. And so I think the biggest thing is going to be making sure that we can prevent those two guys from having their game. And so like looking at it so that those two guys aren't necessarily the playmakers and trying to negate the plays that they make and be able to keep the quarterback in the pocket, or being able to give the correct reads that we want him to give, either giving the ball or pulling the ball based on the kind of defense we're in.
What's going through your mind during the latest? Is it targeting or is it experience that you had?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of highs and lows, but obviously like targeting is tough. I mean, especially like my intention's never malicious. It's always to just make sure that the ball carrier feels me, and I mean, that's just football. But targeting it happens so fast. Like all these football players, like they happen so fast, and then when you slow things down and look at replay, like it can look a lot more malicious than it can be. And so I've been working on some things just off the field, like shooting a little lower on tackles and stuff like that, especially like as I'm flipping my hips for just to be able to not have to have those kind of situations.
But are you like turn around, you're looking at the big screen and you're like, no, I didn't do it this time. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, are you?
It's kind of a blur right now. Like it was kind of just like, oh god. Like when I saw the flag, I was like, oh gosh, are you kidding me? And then still had a chance, and so.
What was that message like from Coach Freeman when you get to the sideline? You know, just to stay calm, don't worry about it. You know, what was that message from him?
Yeah, it was just wait and see, and so.
And when you look at what you missed 2 halves of a game, so so a total game so far, we're missing 2 halves, but you still lead this team in tackles. You know, what does that say about your execution on the field defensively?
I mean, I think one of the biggest things for me, like, besides knowing the game plan, is that I'm gonna give you all I got. I'm gonna run to the ball and I'm gonna finish as heavy as I can on a ball carrier, and so I think that plays a big part into that aspect of my game.
Anything else for JD?
Did we read into the statistics because you are the leading tackler? Does that mean that the defensive, what do we read when we see you're the leading tackler?
I mean, to be honest,
You're just around the ball, you have an acumen for the ball.
yeah, I mean, it helps when you're in the middle of the defense as well, like, and just the position that I play, a linebacker, and so obviously those things help, but I mean, I try not to pay attention to any of those statistics or any of that.
Obviously, the ideal situation would have been for you to not miss those halves, but do you feel like you gained any sort of perspective from sitting out during those stretches?
I think the biggest thing I gained was just my love for the game. Like, it's hard to sit out, and especially like it's hard when you know in some way it's hurting the team and you can't do much to help the team in those situations, and so that's obviously a tough position.
What do you think was helpful for the other guys to kind of figure out how to work around those situations, just a different type of adversity to deal with?
Most definitely. All adversity can be flipped into a positive way, and so it gave Prince Collie a little bit more of a chance to step up, and just other guys, and so it's been cool to just be able to see those guys excel in those positions.
Last question, Levon.
What do you do in those first halves when you can't play? What's going through your mind, or what are you doing during that exact moment?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing has been one, I know I'm going to play in that second half, and so trying to figure out what the offense is doing in those situations, but then at the same time helping our coaches diagnose, hey, here's the play they ran, here's who pulled, here's who flashed, and then echoing whatever I learned from that first half and into the guys during that first half. Just when the guys come off the field, be like, hey, here's the snap cadence. Here's what I saw. Like, here's kind of like the guards or they're sitting a little heavier or lighter. Like, just trying to be able to help the guys that are on the field.
Thanks, JD.
Yep.
Thanks, Judy.